Today we're going to be showing the ReportsAI platform from the perspective of Umoja Health. They're an international NGO with country offices in Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. They are funded by the FCDO with an overall mission of improving maternal and child health care in Africa. So they implement the Safe Births program in both Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda. So we're going to show from this kind of organization's perspective what using the ReportsAI platform looks like in practice. So we're starting off with the perspective of the Kenya country officer. So country officers generally work with local partner organizations within the countries that they operate in. So this country officer is working with a partner organization who's implementing some of the activities of the Safe Births program in places like Kisumu in Kenya. So the country officer has to conduct an annual progress report of the Safe Births program. So they have to request data on the activities that have been conducted, the outcomes, challenges faced, etc. So they have to collect that kind of information from the partners they've been working with on the ground to produce this report. So what this would generally look like is that the country officer would come to my report projects and then you go create report project. This would be a field activity report, so you can choose the type of report here or you can add a new report. This will be a field activity report. So this is the country progress report for Kenya. You can also choose to add files here. So I'm actually going to add a log frame on here. Choose start date today. Just put it to the end of the month. Due date early Jan. Make it public so that anyone within my platform can see. Create report. Okay, so now I've got this annual country progress report for Kenya. Now when I click into it, it wants me to create tasks. Now I could press later and just create the task manually if I want to, but I can also create tasks now and it will prompt me to upload a document to extract the tasks from. So what's great about this is that the platform can create the task for you. So I just upload my the planifications for this particular report. I can just upload that and extract tasks. Okay, so you see that now these tasks have been extracted. You can come in here, you can change the assignees. So I could assign one to Mohammed, I can change priorities, due dates, etc. Got a whole bunch of tasks here. You can delete any that you don't think are relevant as well, or you can change the task descriptions. It's completely up to you, and then you can go and create tasks. So if I want to assign a task to someone external from my organization, and in doing that, I'm essentially trying to request data from them. So if I'm working with a partner organization, I can do that. I can click here, say create task. And I want this Lake Region Health Initiative partner to send a weekly activity report. And say this is the So for this task description, you can also suggest with AI and it will make something for you. But if you know what you want from the task, then you can include it in here. And the data that gets uploaded will be checked against these task specifications. So you make sure you can be as detailed as you want here. So if you want them to include certain things like the number of beneficiaries reached, midwives trained, birth kits distributed, you put that in the task description, then when they upload data later, it's going to get checked against that to make sure that everything's included. Set a due date of end of next week. I'm going to set this as a high, and then I'm going to assign it to someone external from this platform. So I'm assigning this to a partner organization, and you can see that here. See, this one's an external assigned task, not someone who's just within my platform. So for the partner organization, they get an email. It will look something like this. You have been assigned a task in ReportsAI. So you can see what that looks like here. It even has the task description, task title, task description. So again, this can be as detailed as you wanted to put the task description. So it can be something big. They will see everything that they need to do, and then they can just click this link to take them to report screen. So you can see they can now see the task that's been assigned. So this one's here is the one that's pending. And even though, look, you see that they don't have AI requests, that's because they're not actually paying for a ReportsAI subscription, which means they don't have access to the compute to do AI requests, to create reports, applications, etc. But they can still see tasks that are assigned to them and complete those tasks. So what's great about this is if you work with a lot of different partners, you can still assign tasks to people that don't have a ReportsAI account. They can still log in. They don't have to set up an account. They don't have to pay for an account. They can still complete a task without having to pay for an account, essentially. So it allows you to work with multiple partners, but still be able to have the added addition of data checks on the quality of the data that they upload. So they can come in here, look at this task, see what's required of them, and then if they want to complete it, they would add notes. So they need to send the information on the Safe Births program. So they might upload an Excel file on the beneficiaries reached and a couple of field notes to show the activities and progress on the ground. So you can add those. Okay, so those are added, so just add the note. And now you can see I've added a note to this task here. It's still pending, so I can just come into the task and mark it as complete. So I could, just to quickly show you, I could either come here and evaluate the task progress, which would then do a evaluation of the data that I've uploaded against the task specifications. Let me know if there's any improvements to be made. Let me know if I'm missing anything. But if I come and try and mark the task as complete, it's actually going to do that for me automatically. So that just means that whenever somebody's sending you data, uploading data to the platform, they're always getting AI feedback like this to tell them how well they've completed the task. So you don't have to have the back and forth that normally happens over email. If they were missing anything in particular, they get told straight away. They get recommended next steps. They get points of contact. So this just saves people a huge amount of time. But I'm just going to mark that as complete. You see that task is now marked as complete. So if we now jump back to the perspective of the country manager in Kenya, then they're the one that assigned that task. So now it's been completed. They can see that some progress is being made on this annual country progress report project that they created. So they've still got a bunch of tasks, but they see that this external one has been completed. So they can also come in here and evaluate that task progress themselves to see whether the data is complete and relevant enough to complete the task. So they can also get this AI feedback if they want to. But otherwise, if they're happy with everything, they would then go through, complete the other tasks. And once they're happy that they've got the data that they need to complete this annual country progress report, like in reality, they'd probably be allocating tasks to a bunch of different partners, collecting all of that data, probably adding some data from some of their team members and some stuff themselves. And then once they're happy with everything, they would generate my report here. So they want to choose all notes, and because you can do it just based on your own notes, but you're going to want the partner data, so you choose all notes. You can choose to use a template, but I don't need one here. and then we can generate my report. But what happens is that a final project review gets done. So this means that all the tasks are getting assessed, and it's going to give you an overall summary of how well everything within the so far have been completed. And then you can generate my report once you're happy with that. So it's just more instant AI feedback to ensure that people have got strong data before they go and generate a report. Because what we're trying to do at ReportsAI is ensure that our content that gets generated is very much grounded in your data inputs. So we're trying to ensure that your data inputs are strong enough to get a strong report out the other side, because we're not going to pull just information from random sources on the web. We're not going to fabricate information. So we need to ensure that your data is strong enough to generate like a strong and trustworthy report out the other side. So anything where there are assumptions that are made by the model, they get highlighted in yellow just so the human in loop can check over them. If they're happy, they can just remove the highlighting or even like remove the section completely. We just want to make sure the human in the loop is always checking over things. It'll also tell you if it ever needs more data. Again, it's just we're grounding these reports in your data. So if the data is not enough to generate a strong report, then you'll see it highlighted in yellow asking for more information. Now you can come in here and you can bring this report to life a bit, say turn this content into a visual. Just like that. It's come a bit big, so we shrink that down. And then once we're happy with that, we can save this as a draft. And we can also export it to Word if we want to. If we wanted to email it to someone, or if that person's within our platform, then we can just save it within the platform. They'll be able to see it. So if the Kenya country office is happy with their report they've created, they can send that off to the headquarters, to the monitoring and evaluation head in the HQ, because that person then needs to aggregate these country office reports from the various different country offices and aggregate that into a global progress report. So we're going to jump to them next. So we're done with the country officer for now. They've completed their workflow. And so we're going to jump to the perspective of the M&E officer who works in the HQ, who collects these reports from each country office and then aggregates them into a global progress report. So there's two ways they can go about that. They can do the same as what we just did, is that they could create a report project, call it the annual progress report, the global, progress report. And then they could allocate tasks to the country officer in Kenya, the country officer in Tanzania, and the country officer in Uganda, requesting that data, and then they can produce the overall report. So that's generally the workflow that would normally take place. But if they've already have the reports to hand, then they can just generate the report instantly because they've already got the data that they need. So say they've got these 3 progress reports, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, they've already been sent them by each country officer. Then they could just upload them here. Now they could prompt something like, take these. You could prompt something like this and then just generate. But when you're doing quite repetitive reporting tasks, this is something that they would be doing often, and like aggregating into this one annual report from all the different country offices, then I feel like it gives you a lot more flexibility. If you go more settings here and you use a report type, you can even use a template as well. The template's more about formatting, whereas report type's more about content. So you can create your own here if you wanted to then just go in there and be really specific about what you need this report type to contain. But I've already built one for an annual report, so this already laid out what this annual report needs to contain. So this gives you a lot more control over what the output's going to look like. So I recommend like building your own report types. You can also come in here and just edit any of these existing ones. And I'm not going to use a template for this one, but if you wanted to control the formatting more, you could. And then use generate. So here we go. Now we've generated the global annual report that's summarizing those individual reports that we were sent. You can see that it breaks down by Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. Again, any assumptions or where it feels like it should have more information, it lets you know. But it will easily break down by the different countries, but also like summarize some parts all together. So you get a really great aggregate report just like that. So then once the M&E officer in the global HQ is happy with that, then they might be sending that to their manager, or they might be sending that to the donor, for example, like FCDO. We could have also used an FCDO template to populate this if we wanted to. So yeah, that just shows the full workflow.